All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for this Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. It is 2 o'clock. My name is Ty Mentzer, Vice Chair of the Board. Our Chair, Commissioner Mejia, is attending virtually. I will be leading today's meeting. To my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. And we have County Manager Mayor Chavez, Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell, off screen, can't see them, but they're there, and our Clerk of the Board, Jamie Caldwell. Calling this meeting to order, and we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Edwards.
Please join me in our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're also going to begin with the land acknowledgement, and we would like to acknowledge and thank the indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today. Specifically, the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. Is there a motion regarding the proposed agenda for today?
I believe we're moving ahead with our existing agenda. Yes. I would move to approve the agenda for today, March 7th, 2023.
I'm going to second that motion. So with a motion and a second, any discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries and the agenda is approved. Next is opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. General speaking guidelines include introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county. Please address board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones. The board will not directly respond to public comment, and the county manager may follow up on specific items on an as-needed basis. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate speaking time to another person. The board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for a good cause. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind, comments that are commercial in nature, and any written materials provided to the board are considered public records, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act. Finally, no remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come to before the board on a appeal. Thank you for your cooperation there. I have 2 folks signed up, and then we'll hit anyone who's on Zoom. First is John Pettit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Addressing my comments to you. Earlier today, I dropped off a particular document that I obtained through public disclosure through the -C book accounting system within the county. And I have heard for a long duration of time, certain managers here insisting that they have budget appropriations for this building. This document proves otherwise. In fact, it also suggests there's been $989,579.29 spent with zero budget appropriations. RCW 3640.130 excess expenditures. The bottom line is when people spend $10 million without budget appropriations, officials become personally liable for those expenditures. Now, I will continue a position of believing that the commissioners, through what knowledge they were provided, were unaware that certain things were happening. On the other side, it is your responsibility, now that you're aware of this, this has already been sent to the state auditor as a follow-up. I'm looking forward for them taking action. And that it's your responsibility to hold the people accountable, either that or join them and be accountable, to pay back that nearly $10 million of expenditure. You know, I've heard so many stories, I've come to the point of saying, I can't trust Thurston County government. It's that simple. Primary job of commissioners, to take care of the assets of the county. These are not dollars that belong to the county managers or even yourselves. These dollars belong to taxpayers, and they have requirements that go along with them. Now, I'm sure that first we argue, well, that doesn't understand or we don't understand. I do know that I've been informed that there's going to be a nice article coming out soon, and there's been a request for some information. I'm hoping the county managers step up and answer those questions, so that way there can be a non-biased report made about this. I was really hoping the good news today would be that the people that are responsible for this have decided to resign their positions and make a liability statement that they will themselves be responsible for the entire amount, whatever assets it requires from them to submit. I have no hesitancy about moving forward, and it's important. It should also be known, though, that the same people have been involved in a process. They don't like your comments that you may make up here to the board, or things that you send in to the board, that they seek to have legal actions taken against them. In my case, this coming Friday, I have a supposed amount of $33,500 being sought from me because I choose to expose certain things and they choose to conceal it and not have the public know. Thurston County belongs to the people, not to people that I consider to be corrupt managers. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Terry Ballard.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Hello. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Terry Ballard. I am a 35-year veteran and 7 months towards an active duty retirement, and retired in 2012, and I was born here in Washington. I live in Tanglewild, and I have 2 houses there, and also have a house in Olympia. Safety reasons. This is really of my concern. On Third Way off of School Street, off of Martin Way in Tanglewild, has many new apartments. Children use the school street to access Lydia Hawk School. A walkway needs to be established for the safety of the children, and if not, one of them gets run over, I will be here with bells on. Okay? I don't care if the apartment is not butt up against School Street, which is the community. I don't care that all the apartments are on Third Way. You don't put a walkway in there, I will, and a child gets run over, I will be here for you. As of 2019, we had 11K on 11,000 veterans on VA disability. As of 2022, we had 32,000 veterans in Thurston County. The Veterans Fund. In 2020, there was $586 left over for carryover to 2021 that was never used or carried over during the whole year. There, in 2021, there was 863 left over for 2022. It stayed as a carryover, was never brought over. And right currently, we have over $1.1 million of carryover into 2023. RCW 73.08. There's 3 areas of indigent people, you have two. You have two. In one of them being 150 over the poverty level, but you state 150%. That's against the RCW. Policies and procedures. You have to be 31 days here in 31 days in the state of Washington to get veterans assistance. How do you equivalate to that when you have a shelter that you're using the funds for? Also, in 22.122.030, there you are required to have a letter from the nationally recognized veterans group on those 9 members. You fail to do that. You continue to do that. That's for your Veterans Advisory Board, but you fail. You don't care about veterans. There's none of you on the Veterans Board. Why is that? Just kick veterans to the side, okay? An affiliation card is not a letter, by the way. And as far as that 30,000 going to the 30,000 going, that's illegal. Going down to the Veterans Hub, that's illegal per the RCW. And I listed the 2 RCWs in here. Okay, that's illegal. I want it back. You have $250 maximum going out to a nationally recognized veterans group if they have a meeting. A maximum. Why are we giving $30,000 to a veterans hub? Also, we can use, the RCW also states that we can use these buildings that are owned by that are owned for the use of the nationally recognized veterans groups for their meetings. Okay? Guess what? The DAV, Chapter 41, got kicked out of the Veterans Hub because they wanted to get their meeting there. Why are we spending money that that should not be spent out of the Veterans Fund? Why don't we get a program up to get all of the service officers involved in the 21 organizations that you have here in Thurston County to do what to draw from this Veterans Fund? They know pensions, they know everything about the veteran. You don't care. You don't care to get qualified people in there. And yes, you're right, Mr. Menzer. I am watching the Veterans Fund. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, and here's all the data. Everything I had today. Look at it.
Anyone else in the room that wants to provide comment? Okay, let's go to our Zoom. I see Doug Carmen. Did you want to provide a comment, sir?
No, sir.
And the bird in the right corner, I can't read the name.
It's Tom. It's Tom
Okay,
Webster.
I think that's it then. Then we'll close public comment. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to number 2, County Manager's update.
I don't have any specific updates for you, Commissioners.
Okay, let's go to our consent items, and that's 3A through 3E. Any request to pull an item from the consent agenda?
No, sir.
No, is there a motion?
I would move to approve consent items A through E.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve items 3A through 3E, non-debatable motion that I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
That motion carries and the consent items are approved. Item 4A is an auditor department item, approval of voucher list.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, for your considerations to approve the voucher list for the week of February 13, 2023, for a combined amount of $1,078,408.47. This voucher list includes expenditures related to the atrium tenant improvements. Thank you.
I don't have any questions on that, but for process, I would move this forward. But I mean, I'm gonna vote for it. Just for process, I'll move it forward if you would like.
Commissioner.
I would move to approve the voucher list for the week of February 13th, 2023 for a combined amount of $1,078,408.47.
I'll second the motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve the voucher list. Any discussion on the motion?
I made the motion for progress. I'm trying to be consistent in my position. Thank you.
Commissioner Mejia, anything?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Nay.
Commissioner Mentzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. Item 4A is approved. Let's go to item 5A, which is Public Health and Social Services. Set public hearing for HUD Consolidated Plan. Leave it there. And we've got Tom Webster from Senior Program Manager from Public Health and Social Services. Good afternoon, Tom.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Here to request that you set a public hearing for Tuesday, April 18th to receive public comment on our Department of Housing and Urban Development Consolidated Plan Needs Assessment and Market Analysis and the Assessment of Fair Housing. As part of the funding the county receives from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, Thurston County must prepare and submit a consolidated plan that describes the affordable housing and community development needs of the county and identifies priorities for those funds. This plan will cover a 5-year period from 2023 through 2027. In the development of this plan, HUD requires that Thurston County hold 2 public hearings. This first public hearing is to obtain the views of the county residents on housing and community development needs, including priority non-housing community development needs and affirmatively furthering fair housing. The second hearing, when the plan is finalized, will be held in June of 2023. The public comment period will open on March 13th when we will post the draft of the gaps analysis and market analysis of the needs assessment and market analysis, as well as the assessment of fair housing. The public comment period will end on April 18th after the completion of the public hearing. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Tom?
No questions, sir.
Questions, Commissioner Mejia?
No questions.
Okay, I don't have any either. Is there a motion?
Yes, sir. I would move to set a public hearing for Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 at 3:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at 3000 Pacific Avenue Southeast, room 110, to receive public comments on the Department of Housing and Urban Development Consolidated Plans Needs Assessment and Market Analysis and Assessment of Fair Housing.
I'll second that motion. So motion's been made and seconded regarding setting a public hearing. Any discussion?
No, sir.
We'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 5A is approved. And we'll go directly to item 6, which is Commissioner reports. Commissioner Mejia, I'll give you the floor first if you have anything you'd like to report.
I will not report anything at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Edwards.
I've already reported to my seatmates, but I think for the public, we had our communications, it's known as TCOM. We've had some concerns about permit activity. Attended the Lacey South Sound Chamber, which Bob Ayel gave quite a presentation on the history of the Nisqually tribe and their current business activities. Thurston Regional Planning Council. And I think some of us, I don't know how many, took the short course on local planning and Open Public Meetings Act. And then I had a discussion with Representative Klunzenkamp, Perez's office, about issues here in Thurston County, mainly having to do with the opioid issue and fentanyl and opioid together and the detrimental effect it's having on our community. And then I think I attended a couple of retirements with my seatmates, and that was it for me for the week. Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of things. I'll just let folks know where I was out and about doing. There was an event that I may not be able to describe very well, but it involved the Lummi tribe coming to the Port Plaza to on a journey they're taking with this totem pole, and it was very interesting, kind of cultural presentation, and a really good turnout on a very cold and blustery day, last Wednesday, I believe that was. Presented to the Grand Mountain Rochester Chamber, as I do most months. Attended the 2 retirement events for a sheriff and an emergency management manager, as Commissioner Edwards mentioned. Attended the Chehalis Basin Film Festival on Friday night down in Lewis County, which was short films about restoration efforts in the Chehalis River, and then panel discussions regarding all the issues with flooding and habitat that they're working on down there. And that connects to my work on the Chehalis Basin Partnership and the Chehalis River Basin Flood Authority. Attended the South Thurston Fire Commissioner auction, as did my seatmate, Commissioner Edwards. Attended the Lacey Cultural Fest on Saturday, which was great, as usual. The Thurston Conservation District Native Plant Sale at the fairgrounds, which was extremely well attended. I heard they broke a record for attendance and plant sales there. I was interviewed on Friday by the governor's office for the State Building Code Council, which would be a seat representing Western Washington county governments. So we'll see how that goes. Attended the Sea Level Rise meeting where the county has an ex officio seat. We're not formally involved in the partnership between LOT, the port, and City of Olympia, but the county attends as an ex officio basis, and I was able to get some good updates, mainly about the recent high tide event that we had, record tide event, on whatever date that was, not too long ago. Then yesterday I attended the House Washington meeting, which is a legislative group focused on housing issues, and we meet every week to discuss the status of bills that are related to moving housing projects forward. So there's a lot of talk about the governor's what does he call it? The governor's, let me get the name right. The governor's referendum package, which is potentially going to be a very substantial financial package for building housing. That was it for my week.
Could I comment on a couple other things, sir?
Sir.
I think the retirements that we both attended, one was for Captain Gordon Phillips for 32 years with the sheriff's office. And really, that's pretty outstanding in today's day and age that someone would put in that amount of time. And I, quite frankly, I guess I don't begrudge him for retiring at this point in time. And Kurt Harden retired from our emergency management, but he also ran the Department of Health for over a year. And I'd like to commend both of those individuals for their exceptional service to the county. And might just mention that I know this is basically old news, but it was in our local paper of record, the Olympian, last week, that Supreme Living has withdrawn its position of placing a sex offender housing unit down in the Tenino area. And I just wanted to point out, I know a lot of our representatives and folks worked on this, but Representative Travis Couture, Representative Dan Griffey, and Senator Drew McCune really went the extra mile on putting in and covering that issue, meeting with the governor. A lot of time was put in on it, and I think the community owes them a debt of gratitude. Although the issue is not a solved issue, we need to figure out ways in which to deal with this, which we'll be working with the legislature through the next year or so. So thank you to those folks and all their hard work. And to the county manager for kind of coordinating our approach on that issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to 6B. County manager will review the county commissioners' combined schedule.
Thank you, Commissioner. After you're done with this meeting at 3:30, you have a briefing related to the shoreline master plan. There's a follow-up briefing on the conversations you had with staff. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 8th, 11:30, you have anybody to participate on the March Chamber of Commerce Forum that will be related to the cutting-edge advances shaping the future of healthcare. And that is going to be located in St. Martin's University at 5300 Pacific Avenue Southeast. Thursday, March 9th, you have a briefing 1 in the afternoon related to the American Rescue Plan spending, and that is an update on the particular fund. Friday, March 10th at noon, you have your standing meeting with the Washington State Association of County Legislative Update. Moving on to next week, Monday, March 13th at 9:30, you have been invited to participate on a tour of the Nisqually Tribe Reservation Substance Use Disorder Integrated Care Clinic, and that is going to be located at 4020 Sheenong Drive Southeast, and that's going to be in Olympia, Washington. And that tour is going to be taking place between 9:30 and 11:30. At noon on March 13th, you have your standing meetings at the Kiwanis meeting, as well as the Washington State Association of County. And in the afternoon also, you house the House Washington briefing, as Commissioner Minister stated. And that is an invitation to all commissioners to attend. Tuesday, March 14th, 9 in the morning, you have your agenda setting. Follow up in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, your regular board meeting. And at 4:30 on March 14th, you have your regular Board of Health meeting. And that concludes my.
Anything else?
Nothing else. We did our
Okay,
record time.
2:27, we're adjourned. Back at 3:30 for Shoreline Master Program.